special guest that we have here tonight that worked on a film called Star Wars. He worked on The Empire Strikes Back,
George Lucas.
Tron, just to name a few films. He worked on The Black Hole with his father, Harrison Ellenshaw. He's going to tell you a little bit about what it was like to work on The Black Hole.
Thank you, Rob, for that very kind introduction, and thank you all for coming out tonight. This is a wonderful series that the ArcLight is producing and presenting, and it's very special for me to be invited to introduce what is a very meaningful film personally, as well as something that's very meaningful for the Disney Studios. And it's nice that the organization of D23 is around to begin to really put some very special moments together like this, and they publish a wonderful magazine and have events, and it's really pretty neat for us old guys who can barely remember 1979, but anyway, that's not the point. The film you're going to see tonight, and probably many of you have seen it at some point in your life, either in the movie theater or you know at home, is very special in the history of Disney films. It came out in 1979, and this was a few years after a little sci-fi film by the name of Star Wars came out. And a lot of people are under the misconception that Disney decided to put out their version of a sci-fi space film in reaction to Star Wars, when in actual fact the story of the Black Hole, which at that time, before Star Wars, was being called Space Probe 1, was being developed at Disney Studios. Now, Disney Studios at the time was considered a studio that wasn't exactly on the forefront of live-action films, and was mainly known for its family films. So if you wanted to take a family to a film, you went to see a Disney film, and this was the first film from Disney to receive anything other than a G rating. So that was very important, and that was taking a big risk. When Star Wars came out, it was clear that there was an audience that would see sci-fi films. In fact, there was a very large audience. So it was that response that took Disney forward to making The Black Hole. Assembled a great cast. My father was the production designer. It was directed by Gary Nelson, who had achieved some notoriety in television. He'd done the original Freaky Friday for Disney. He'd also done Washington Behind Closed, which was Behind Closed Doors. Yeah, it was the other version. So they put. Disney Studios, Ron Miller, put together a supreme production crew. And the film was an attempt to be different than many other sci-fi films. One of the things you'll notice is that space is not black in this, even though it's a black hole. How are you going to show a black hole against black space, and so on? So the design of the film, I think, is very unique, very dynamic, very wonderful. And the other thing that is a little bit of interest, in fact a lot of interest, is the ending to this film. This film was put into production and the ending was unresolved. Now, there's a saying in Hollywood and movie making, you don't make a movie if you don't know what the end's going to be, which is not a bad idea. But nonetheless, there were many endings proposed, including one which Gary Nelson takes credit for, and I take credit for, and that was going to be a pullback in the Sistine Chapel on Michelangelo's creation of Adam. And I thought, gee, I proposed this ending, everybody loved it, and I said, okay, I'll go to Rome and I'll shoot it because, you know, it's my idea. And my father said, no, I'm going to Rome. You need to stay here and finish your work with visual effects. So we got this great trip to Rome. We ended up using not that ending. And I'm still a little bit miffed about that to this day. So the ending you see now was literally created, shot. It was never scripted, and it was shot in about a week, just before the film had to be finished. There are no opticals in it. It's all miniatures, and, well, you'll see it. It's very interesting. Okay, I think John's got a couple of items here to go over, and then I hope you enjoy the film. I'm sure you
I want to ask you a question that I have heard about. I had the great pleasure of working up at Lucasfilm for 6 years, and I understand that Disney did talk with Industrial Light and Magic about doing the visual effects for this film, and it wasn't possible. So Disney kind of had to create a whole series of camera systems and miniature systems that hadn't existed at Disney before that. Is that about right?
That's, yeah, partially true. Because Star Wars had been such a success, and also the visual effects have been done in a very new technological way, using computers to control cameras, which had never been done before. Disney did, in fact, have to go and create their own motion control system.